am back with a new session. Welcome to our RR Buddy classes. Students, are you ready for the session? Before that, open your textbook and keep your pencil ready to note down the important points. Children, in previous lesson, A reading, you have gone through a trip to Andaman. It was a pleasant trip. In B reading, my trip to the moon. Wow, it was amazing. Today, in C reading, we are going to a mysterious place. Let's sail in the journey of Sindbad the sailor. Class 7, Unit 5, C reading, Sindbad the sailor, session number 6. Students, here the present story, Sindbad the sailor, describes the adventurous journey of Sindbad and his experiences. Origin of Sindbad. Sindbad is one of the characters from the Arabian Nights, a collection of Middle Eastern stories narrated by Scheherazade, the wife of a Persian king named Shahryar. The tale is about a merchant who lived in third Islamic Caliphate. The story tells us that Sindbad was a famous sailor who lived in Baghdad. He was honest, generous and brave. He had many adventures on each of his voyages. He never lost heart and hope in dangerous situations. He overcame great dangers and returned home safely from each of his voyage. Sindbad set sail with a company of merchants on a big ship. Here is a story of his voyage. Let us view some hard words which we will go through in our lesson. Please observe the pictures carefully, children. Voyage. Someone who travels on a large journey, especially by boat or ship. Island. A thing regarded as resembling an island, especially in being isolated, detached or surrounded in some way. Sailor. A person whose job it is to work as a member of the crew of a commercial or naval ship, or especially one who is below the rank of officer. Honesty is the quality of being truthful. An example of honesty is telling the truth even after doing something wrong. Generous, liberal in giving or sharing, unselfish, showing a readiness to give more of something. Brave. Here children, I hope you all are brave. Adventure. Engage in daring, risky activity. Journey, an act of traveling from one place to another. Dangerous situations. You can look into the picture. Very risky situations, children. Valley, a low area of land between hills mountains. Diamonds. They are the precious stone or gemstones which are very costly. Eagle. It is a bird. Legs of the huge bird. Here you can see, children, it's an ostrich bird. It has a huge legs. A big snake, the figure of a big snake you can watch here. We have learned the hard words. Now let us go to the words with meanings. Substantial, remarkable or considerable. Watch the pictures, children, they are very colorful. Merchant, trader, a person who buys and sells commodities for profit. Huge, extremely large. Frog bird, enormous large bird. Turban, a man's head covering long length material around a cap. Excited, very enthusiastic. Hissing, made a sharp sibilant sound as of the letters. Waist, a part of the human body below the ribs and above the hips. Serpents, snakes. Wallet, a small flat folding case of leather. Now, coming to the text, open your textbook, children. Sindbad the sailor. I bought a substantial stock of goods to trade and sailed on a ship with a number of my merchant friends. We placed ourselves in the care of Allah and set off. Soon we reached an island. We decided to go ashore. My friends went to gather fruits and flowers, but I took my food packet to a place in the shade. I had a good meal and lay down to sleep under the trees. I don't know how long I slept, but when I awoke and looked out to sea, the ship had gone. I was all alone. Not knowing what to do, I climbed up to the top of a tall tree and looked over the island on all sides. In the distance, I could see something white and decided to find out what it was. Soon I came to what seemed like a huge white ball. When I touched it, it felt very smooth. It was so high that I could not see the top of it, and it was more than 50 paces round. There was no door on any side, and it was too smooth to climb. Suddenly, the sky above me became dark, as if a huge cloud was covering it. Looking up, I saw the darkness was caused by the shadow of a huge bird that was flying towards me. I had often heard sailors talk of a great and wonderful bird called a roc. This be a rock, I thought, and this huge ball must be its egg. The bird came nearer and sat on its egg. I soon crept close to the egg. Near me was one of the bird's legs, which was as big as a tree. I decided to tie myself to the leg of this bird with my turban so that when it flew away from the island, it would carry me with it. At daybreak, the bird flew up so high that I was carried out of sight of the island. Then it came down again so fast that I lost my senses. When I found myself on the ground, I quickly united the turban. The bird caught up a stake and flew away. This time I found myself surrounded on all sides by immense mountains that seemed to reach above the clouds. The sides of the valley looked so steep that there was no possibility of climbing them. When I began to look around the valley, I found that there were large diamonds lying on the ground. I was excited to find such riches lying around me. Then I saw something else that made me very frightened. All around the valley there were huge serpents, some of them big enough to even eat an elephant. These came out of their holes at nightfall. During the day, I suppose they hid themselves from the rocks. Thank you, children. We'll continue our class in part 2.